It's that time of the year when we want to do our first spring plantings of vegetables. And even though we can already start directly sowing some of the vegetables, but I will talk more on direct sowings in my next video, which will come out on Friday, March 31st. But today I would like to focus your attention on transplanting indoor seedlings and how to properly transition them from indoor conditions to the outside. Basically, how to harden off your seedlings, how to get them acclimated to the outdoor temperatures and sun conditions, light conditions. Here you can see I took out all of my indoor seedlings that are cold hardy, so I still have my tomatoes and peppers and eggplants indoors. Those will not come out for another couple of weeks, but all of my cold hardy veggies like Swiss chard, perpetual spinach, regular spinach, pak choi, tatsoi, all kinds of cabbages, like I have broccoli here, I have cauliflower, regular head cabbages, I have pansies here, broad beans, peas. All of these are cold hardy, which means they can be planted outside right now. They can tolerate some frost. But these were started indoors under lights in February. Then as soon as they got a little bit bigger, I transitioned them into my sunroom that doesn't have any lights but has a ton of windows. So they were exposed a little to the light that was coming from windows. And now I took them outside into my greenhouse. So my greenhouse is not something fancy. I mean, it's just plastic greenhouse attached to my family room, sunroom, and it does get a little cold here, like it's not a heated greenhouse. But as I said earlier, these plants that I'm transitioning are okay with that. So as long as the day temperatures stay above freezing and it's sunny, it can get warm enough to be able to withstand cold nights. So I'm going to keep these seedlings for about a week. A week in these small tiny greenhouses and the bigger one will be enough for the seedlings to get acclimated to the outdoor temperatures and lights. After a week, I started planting out some of the seedlings. As you can see here, this is my broccoli in between the last fall's garlic that started growing already. There's more cabbages over there and different broccoli plants. Also, these are my broad beans, also known as fava beans. They are so good for planting in spring as well. I love broad beans. So I planted them over here in a row. There's more cabbages in this bed. Also I planted some radishes, and as you can see there are some last year's arugula that survived winter as well. This is one of my favorite cabbages called Pixie. I love this small head cabbage. It's one of the most early maturing cabbages. This is my peas that I also started indoors, and it's a bit leggy because, as I said earlier, I had it with no lights in my family room, and you know, plants don't really like to be with low light. But that's okay, I'm sure it will be just fine over here. I planted a little deeper, and I am planning to provide some kind of support for this piece so it can start climbing. Now there is more cauliflower and cabbages here. This one is actually called Aspa Brock. This is a new variety I'm trying this year for the first time. And this is elephant garlic here in between. I also planted it last fall. So I'm practicing some interplanting here. I hope they will be okay. And this is shangiku, also known as tongo, or edible chrysanthemum. You can eat the leaves and the flowers as well. So after a week of being in the greenhouse, I planted all of my cold hardy seedlings. That's how they look. There's of course a bunch of empty spots. I'm going to sow directly other seeds in between. But for now, that's how my seedlings will be staying during daytimes. So daytime they will be uncovered. Night times we still have freezing temperatures, so I have to cover my babies. And I'm using fleece, also known as frost blanket. So I have 2 layers of frost blanket here, and this is, by the way, my winter sown mash. So as you can see here underneath, the seedlings are doing okay. I covered them lightly, and this frost blanket allows the light to go through and the rain. So you can keep it on all the time, but if the temperatures are nice, like 40s and up, then you can definitely uncover. That's my peas, by the way, as you can see. Every plant that I planted out today, I covered with this frost blanket, just because I don't want them to get frost bites. They will still tolerate the frost, but I don't want the leaves to get damaged by frost, because then they'll take a while to recover. So after I planted all of the cold hardy vegetables, now I have some room in my family room, and this is that sunroom I was talking about that has a lot of windows. So that's where I am not starting my seeds. I start them upstairs under grow lights, but here I transition my seedlings. So as you can see, I have some basil plants in here, I have tomatoes, and these were started upstairs, and then I transplanted them into these larger pots. These are early varieties of tomatoes, so things like Siberian tomato, Arctic Beauty, no, subarctic beauty. These are early variety of tomatoes that can tolerate some cold. So like not freezing temperatures, but like 40-degree would be okay for them. So I'm planning on taking these into my greenhouse next week. It looks like we're not going to have any hard freezes anymore, so hopefully these tomatoes will be okay in the greenhouse, and that will give me more room on these shelves so I can start up potting my other tomatoes and peppers that I have upstairs under my lights, because they are growing big and I need room. But these large pots, they take a lot of space here. So I do want to take these pots outside in my greenhouse. And then I'll be able to start potting up these tomatoes that are already kind of late. I had to transplant them a while ago, but now I have finally room for them to be up potted on all of these shelves.